Hello, assalamu alaikum. আমার নাম রায়ন ওয়াসি সিদ্দিকী from Group 8 and আর আজকে আমি আমাদের website which is competition management system এইটার basically একটা complete presentation দিব after um, many changes and features being added such as an updated UI as well as um, the addition of the communications module. So going into our website, initially, as per just like last time, we can sign up as a user. So let's first sign up, and once you sign up, we can also do forgot password, which basically resets our password. So before we reset, our password is password 3, and if we give the relevant information, and let's say I want to change it to password 4. And now if I go into my database, এখন দেখবো it's password 4. For now, let's keep it password 3 again and change it up. Okay. So now let's log in as user 3. So as we can see, once we log in, the first thing that we see is a home page. So homepage, we see a list of all the competitions as well as a search bar and a way to create a competition. At the top, we also see a navigation bar where we can see our profile, competitions, followers, notifications, and we can also sign up. Profiles page, we can see our profile and we can make any changes or updates to our profile. So for now, let's say I want to change my username to username 32. And if I press update on the database, this will now be updated as we can see. So going back to here, let's keep it username 3, update again. We can also see a list of all the competitions that we hosted, competitions we participated in, and competitions that we participated in that are finished. So now going into followers, we can also see a list of all the followers of all the people we follow as well as the people who follow us back. And there's also a panel for all our notifications. So going back to the main page, let's first try to create a new competition. As we can see, the first thing we see is we are not authorized. So let's try and apply to be a host. So আমরা একটা application submit করলাম, and what this does is send a notification to our admin. We cannot actually sign up as an admin, but we have a dedicated admin set up, and when we go into the admin page, it is very similar to the user page, except the main difference is, as you can see, navigation bar is completely different. So the admin can not only delete any competition as well as announcements and comments in competitions, but they can also delete users. If I press any of these users, I will see this prompt, and if I press OK, I will delete the user. For now, let's keep it at that. The main thing that an admin actually does is authenticate users. So as we can see that user 3 has sent a application to be able to host competitions, and for now, let's accept. Let's sign out again and sign in as user 3. So now if we try and create a competition, let's call it Art 101, and now we can see that after creating the competition, আমাদের competition list, we can see the competition. It is also important to note that we can also only delete competitions that we are hosting and not other people's competitions. Aside from that, এখন search bar functionality দিলে, we can see that our search bar basically uses regular expression to search through either the title or the genre to find the relevant idea. So let's say if I searched art, just art, we will get competition art. If I search just coding, তাহলে genre মাধ্যমে we will get this. If we search cod, we will get just coders. And now let's say we search an empty search bar, তাহলে we get both. Okay. Now going back into our competition, Now, if we go into the competition, we can see a list of the details about the competition, such as about what is it about. We can see the genre, we can see our rating, and we can see a bunch of different functions and buttons, such as ending, adding judges, creating a question set. So we are actually applied as a regular judge, but that's for later. For now, let's create a new announcement. Once we create an announcement, we can actually go into the announce. We can delete the announcement, but we can also go into the announcement and actually post comments, any number of comments in the announcement. For now, let's actually sign out and sign up as a different user that I have already set up. So let's sign up as user one. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to go into the competition. And as we can see, going into any competition, we can't actually see any of the any of the announcements or comments in the competition without joining the competition. So let's join the competition, and let's also do the same for user 2. Again, we cannot see the competition, so let's join. Now, if I go back to user 3, now we can see যে আমাদের participant হিসাবে দুইজন user 1 and user 2 have been added as participants in our competition. Aside from that, now let's go through the add judge method. So when I press add judge, I can add people as judges. However, I will only be able to add people who I follow as well as they follow me back. So right now, I'm not going to follow Nai. So I can't. So no, I can't really add anyone as a judge. Uh, Additionally, I also forgot to mention, but when any user joins any competition that we are hosting, we get a notification, such as this. User 2 has joined, user 1 has joined. We also get a notification when our host authentication either gets approved or rejected. So for now, let's keep it at that. And what we're going to do now is go back into our competition, and we obviously have this announcement, but we are now going to follow user 1, and we are going to sign in as user 1. And এখন, if we go into the notifications, if someone follows us, we will see that we get a notification that someone has followed us. And আমাদের followers page, we now see যে a follower has been added. So let's follow him back, and let's sign in as user 3. And now we can see যে when we try to add the judge, we can add user 1 because we are both following user 1, and we are also and they are also following us back. So now going back, let's add user 1 as a judge. And what this does is send a notification to user 1. It actually doesn't directly add user 1 as a judge. It sends a notification to the user that we want to add as a judge. And what they can do is notifications panel, they now see this notification in red, and they can accept or reject being a judge. So for the sake of the competition, let's just reject being a judge. So we see this, and let's refresh the page. Okay, let's go back into let's go back to user 3. Oh, my bad. And we will see যে আমাদের judge, it's still only the host, আর আমরা notification দেখব যে user 1 has rejected to judge our competition. Going back into this, now let's go into the question set. So for question sets, I can actually make two different types of question set. So for now, first let's make a submission type question, and then let's make an MCQ type question. And we can select the number of questions we want as an MCQ. So let's put in 2, and let's do this. And আমাদের correct answer গুলো মনে রাখি, it's 1 and 1. And now whenever we create a question, what happens is announcements, we get 2 new announcements. So this is for the submission type question, and this is for the MCQ type question. We can see the 2 announcements. We can obviously delete any announcement we want. So for now, let's delete the old announcement that we made. So now, আমাদের competition, we have submission type question and MCQ type question. And same as before, we can comment, but the main difference is এখন প্রত্যেকটা competitioner there is a deadline, and any user can answer the question. So going back, just to showcase the use of deadlines, so let's say আরেকটা জিনিস আরেকটা competition বানাই, but this time let's make it so the deadline has been passed. And what this does is, as we can see, আরেকটা competition বানানো হলো, but the time is over. Now, if any user goes into this type of competition, they cannot actually answer the question. They will instead see this. The deadline has been passed. You can no longer make submissions. So let's delete this competition again. So again, we just have these. Let's go back as and sign in as user 2. And let's try and answer the question. So first, let's answer submission type question. And I'm going, what this does is basically it opens up a file and I can submit any type of file, really, JPEGs or PDFs or anything. For now, let's add in a JPEG file and submit. What this does is আমাদের we have an uploads folder, and uploads folder, our file submission gets submitted. So for now, we've answered this question. If we go back in, we'll notice here you have already answered, so we can only answer once. Let's also go into MCQ type question and answer this. So we can see the MCQ and the available answers. For this user, let's answer correctly. So hello, hello, sup, we should get 100. So let's say we answered. Again, we can only answer once, so we see you have already answered MCQ type question. Let's sign out and do the same for user 1, our other participant. So going into submission, let's answer this, add in a different file, submit. Again, I cannot answer again. Let's do the same for MCQ type question. This time, let's do one correct, one wrong. And what I want to do now is I will go back in as the competition host, user 3, and again, no changes, no visible changes here, but if we go into competitions now, submissions type it, আমরা দেখব যে we can see a list of all the available submissions, and if we press view file, we can directly in our browser see our submission. So this was the submission from user 1, from user 2, I mean, and this is the submission from user 1. And what we can do is we can add a score. So let's say we want to score user 2 and give him 100. Again, we can only, any judge can only score one time. So let's say again to this guy we want to score a 50. And again, only one time. So once we have scored, what we can do is let's go back into our competition. So obviously we have scored both users. And okay, before that, let's actually showcase commenting a little. Uh, Actually, no, we'll showcase commenting later. For now, let's go back. And what we want to do is end the competition. So, what end competition does is it ends the competition. So, like, no more submissions will be taken. And what it also does is send a notice, is it creates an announcement that showcases the rankings and sends notifications to all the participants telling them their rankings. So, let's end the competition. So, as we can see, Art 101 has finished, and we now see a announcement where we can see the scores. So remember that user 2 got 100 for both question types, and user 1 got a 50 for both question types. So 200 and 100. So now if we go in as user 2 and we go into his notifications, we will see this new notification. Art 101 has ended. You have a total score of 200 and placed rank 1. Additionally, I also forgot to mention, but whenever a host creates a new question in the competition or even creates a new announcement, then the user in question, like all participants, get a notification informing them that they got that new question set is now available. So as we can see, user 2 ended up rank 1. And if we log in as user 1, notifications, and we can see that user 1 ended up rank 2. So now going back, actually, there's another feature. So again, um, let's go into finish competitions. And what we can see here is that whenever we want to join a competition, let's say going here, so as we can see, for each competition, there is a host rating. And let's say, and what this does is tell us if the host is a well rated person or not. So the lowest rating we can go is 1. 0 usually indicates that the host in question has not yet been rated. So let's go and rate the competition that just finished. So as we can see now, what we can do, let's first add a comment. And we it added this comment, and what we are going to do is we want to rate and review our competition host. So let's say I rate him 1 and I give him this review. Now after we're done submitting, now what we will see is, if we go into user 3's profile, we can see other people's profile. So if we go into his profile, we'll see that he now has an average rating of 1, and we can see all of his reviews. So he now has this review. And what we will do now is we'll do the same thing as user 2. Uh, we can know, okay, we also can't actually see on the home page. So we only see competitions that are currently ongoing. So we can't actually see competitions that have finished. So if we want to see any competition that has finished, we actually have to go into our My Competitions page. So we go into My Competitions, we go here, and let's post another comment. I like my rating. And the comment has been posted. And now let's say uh, we want to rate him 5. And we want to say amazing. And now if we actually go into user 3, we will find user 3 এর rating হচ্ছে average rating টা দেওয়া হয়েছে, and we can see both of his ratings, amazing and bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it for competition management website. I hope you guys liked it.